Hello and welcome to Inetta and Friends segment of View from the Pew. We're so glad that you joined us today. We are here with our co-host Betty Hall and Kamisha Harad and our very, very special guest, author of this great book, Abigail Did It, So Can You, Brianna Parker. God bless you and thank you for being here, Brianna. Brianna, this is I guess we can say an autobiography.
Yeah. Wow.
Because the book is Abigail Did It, So Can You, but she's actually Abigail. And this talks about some of her experiences. And this is what I love so about the book. It's simplistic. It has illustrations.
Yes.
You understand it, in a world where everything is so complicated. But we love the way that you have this book, Brianna. It's just so amazing. One part in the book is, which the entire book is so good. I mean, it doesn't take you long to read it at all, and understand what she's trying to say, the message that she's trying to bring. But this one brought me just about to tears, where Abigail is talking to an elderly lady. She wanted to give up. She didn't think her life was worth anything. She wanted to forget about her returning to school and everything, but she remembered this elderly lady talking to her. And I want you to tell us where this elderly lady came from. But first we want you to kind of give us a little background as to how this book came about.
I lost my mom at 4 years old. We were in a car accident, me and my sister. Once my mom passed, my mother took us in. My grandma raised us to the best of her ability till I got 15. I moved out at 15. And throughout the years of growing up, I faced a lot of things that I just didn't think that I could keep going, that it was worth living. One of the things that I faced as a child was molestation. I faced suicide at 12 due to being molested. In the black community, during those times, when stuff like that arises, it got swept under the rug.
Right. Yeah, you couldn't talk about it, that kind of thing.
And that was one of the cases with me. It got swept under the rug, so I felt like, well, once I had done told multiple people,
that you were being abused.
It was just, you'll be all right. It's gonna be okay. So one of the things, because I wanted justice, and at that time, me being 12 years old, I didn't know really what to do. Because if you turn to the one person that's supposed to protect you and they don't protect you, then it kind of leaves you, you by yourself.
Right.
So due to that, I tried to commit suicide. I was sent to Charleston. I did literally 3 weeks. And they sent me home after 3 weeks because I wouldn't cooperate. I wouldn't talk. 5 doctors would come in every day and surround me. They offer medicine. But I knew nothing was wrong with me. I just had to figure out why God kept me here and where He was taking me. I got sent home after those 3 weeks. I just kind of went back to being in the life of a child.
Get back a routine.
School.
Back to your routine.
I was out of school. They had so many speculations while I was out of school. And I just kind of, I said, you know what? The pain was unbearable. As an adult now, and I just recently said it, I accepted apologies that I would never hear.
Wow.
And that's really what pushed me. Like, You're never going to get it. It's not going to come about. And one of the things I did year before last was I asked my grandmother, because I looked up to my grandmother a lot.
Right.
That's the older lady.
The elder lady in the book.
My grandmother was a mother of 6. She dropped out of school in 6th grade. She never learned how to drive, because back then, the men took care of the home.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am.
And one of the things was, when I dropped out in 7th grade, it had struck me to my heart. And even though, you know, I dropped out, I was a teen mom at 15. I moved out. I didn't went back home. My grandma didn't never have to babysit or buy a pack of diapers. I worked, did what I could, little odd jobs, McDonald's, gas stations, Kmart, stuff like that. But my grandma, when I decided to wanted to go back to school, because it had hurt me to see my peers, even my sister go, you know, graduate, walk, and I attended every graduation. Anything surrounding them, I was there.
Wow.
But one of the things in my heart was to give myself that if I never did anything in life, I wanted to have that moment where I could turn my tassel to the other side.
Wow.
My grandma going to OC Tech at night, 6 o'clock. I don't work all day. I got three kids at this point.
Oh my goodness.
My 10-year-old has autism. She would call me every day. And one of the things was I wanted to break that cycle. And I felt like, okay, it's on me. My grandma didn't do it. My dad and my mom graduated, but my grandma, and I guess it meant a lot because my grandma, I looked up to her growing up because she raised me. So I felt like I had to do it for me and her. She didn't get a chance to do it, and I understand some of the things that she faced. You know, being a mother, grandmother, now having to take on the responsibility of raising her grands. So that's the elderly lady. And she would literally call me every day. You going to school? I'm on my way to school, grandma.
Right, that's right. Wow. So what brought this book about?
So, you know, the years done passed, I never really would talk about it. I never really would say much about it. I felt what I went through, but I didn't know how to express myself. I knew I loved to write, which I always had loved to write, but I just kind of would write and just took it.
Right.
And when I went to Tech to get my GED, and I was just having a random conversation in class, and my teacher just stopped the whole class and was like, she put me to the side after. She said, "You need to write the book." And she said, that particular day when she told me, they also nominated me to speak for my class that year.
Wow. Isn't that something?
Because they felt like, you know, just
you
how did you do it?
Yeah.
And and then I took it in. I was like, nah, I ain't writing no book. I don't know nothing about no book.
Yeah.
And when the pandemic came about and we were home, I just was sitting doing a lot of self-thought, just focusing on a lot of things that I could change within myself. And one of the things were accepting it. A lot of times I was talking about it, but didn't really have accept what had happened to me.
Acceptance.
And in my field of want to be a psychologist to help others, I can't help no one else if I don't help myself. So it started with me.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It started with me.
Yes.
And I told God, I said, you know, what's one way I can really have an outlet? I knew I wasn't going to get that apology. I knew I wasn't going to get justice on the physical form, but justice from in the inside.
Yes.
I wrote the book. I said, you know, I kind of went back and forth when I wrote it. And one of the things that I liked when I started the process of wanting to write it was I asked God, what could I call this book? I could have easily said Brianna, but he gave me Abigail out the Bible.
Wow, isn't that amazing?
So, and I looked up, I said, Abigail. I went to the Bible, and I was raised in the church, but I ain't knew about Abigail.
Right.
Okay. She was a wife, but one of the things was she had wisdom. And when she faced life-threatening situations, she dealt with them. She dealt with it head on. And it was like she made it out, and she was loyal and beautiful. That's all right, God, you're doing something. And I can remember going to the nurse station for my knee, because I work at Mercedes-Benz. So I build vans. I do the interior. I do the batteries. I do a little bit of everything. I make the roofs, everything. And I met a young lady, not knowing who she was, a young lady named Brittany Hallman, to be exact. And she's an author. But we were just having casual conversations, sitting on the bed getting ice. She's like, you need to write a book. And I said, I said, I always been hearing that, but I don't know about writing a book. We left the nurse station. We met again at the nurse station. She said, all right now, God,
write that book.
You need to write the book. And she put me to the side. She gave me all of the tools I needed to write the book.
That's amazing.
Wow.
I love this book because
Yes.
of the illustrations, and the simplicity of it. This is, I can see this even becoming a cartoon.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you can see that, can't you? It's just, it's so different because we get all these books and they're so, I mean, they're like that thick.
Yeah.
You know, and literally they're saying the same thing over and over and over again anyway. But this is just, this is indicative of what you've been through. And it talks about how you had to forgive yourself, which is on another show we talked about inner truth. And that's something that we have to come to grips with, is you may not ever get that apology, but apologize to yourself, accept it, and then move on. And I mean, look at her today. You know,
Yes, 'cause
beautiful.
This book
you
is
know?
my old life. I have a new life.
Come on.
Wow. Gosh, isn't it? Oh, goodness.
You're
That's
living
amazing.
a life to just to live again.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And to
That's
help
amazing.
others.
To help others too.
And that's one of the biggest things when I wrote the book. I didn't want to sell it. I feel like helping others is no price on it. It can be encouragement. It can be a hug. It can be anything. And one of the things that stuck with me was my sister. I watched my sister go to school all the way up to her master's, being a single mom.
Wow.
And it took me 11 years to go back and get my GED. 11
Wow.
years. And by doing them 11 years, God proved to me that I was delayed but wasn't denied, because I was a manager at Walmart. I had brought a house before I graduated.
now.
Wow.
And he was just like, that's just a bonus.
It's a bonus.
Only because of the hard work and the dedication of wanting to do better.
And there's such a stigma put on single mothers. But you became a mother at 15.
Yes, ma'am.
And never depended upon the system or anyone to take care of your children. See, that's the thing, because every time they think the system is taking care of them, we got this stigma attached to and they live in the slums, and they and they wait on the government check and the food stamp. Well, here is somebody that didn't do that.
Amen.
And she is, I think that she is the majority instead of the minority.
She
But
is.
then they focus on the minority, making us think it's the majority. But she took care of her children. She went to worked 2 and 3 jobs to take care of her children.
Yes, ma'am.
Bought a house before she graduated
Come on.
from high school.
That's awesome.
It's amazing.
Doctor, one of the things is that perception. The perception as a single mom, how people perceive that you as a single mom, you're not able to take care of yourself, and the perception that you got to have a man to do it. You don't have to have a man to achieve anything in your life.
I feel like the man is the bonus.
There we go.
Can we do
There
that?
we go. There we go.
I was
There we
like,
go.
they are in our lives. This is not for everybody. So you have to take, like they say, you got to take the meat off the bone and eat what's for you. It's not for everybody. But when it comes to being a single mom, it may be hard at times. That's life. I don't care, husband and wife, that's life.
That's still life.
But
That's right.
I admire you. I just want to let you know how much I admire you. And as I was reading this book, it when I first picked it up and started reading it, and I looked at it, I said, this is about you, isn't it? I could tell, but one of the things I relate to it is the molestation, that dark place, because I experienced that as well. And one of the things that had stopped me from writing a book is not wanting to share that story. And so I want to know, how did you get to that place of wanting to share the story?
Well, it was closure. And because of my field that I choose to go into to help others, I can't preach and tell you how to get through something if I haven't got a grip on it and handle it to be a better me for you.
Okay.
And I feel like a lot of people, a lot of women, kids, even men, they have been through it, and a lot of them, they don't know how to in my words, I rose to the cause.
Yes.
I like that.
We're going to talk about that when we come back. We're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
She said.
Join Inetta and Friends every Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And welcome back to Inetta and Friends segment of View from the Pew. We are here talking today with Brianna Parker, who is the author of this fantabulous book, Abigail Did It, So Can You. We're talking to her today about her journey. She is actually Abigail. And it's in a well-illustrated book for all ages, not just teen girls or teen boys, or it's also for adult women, talking about her struggles, things that she overcame. And I think, Kamisha, you had a question or a comment?
Well, we left off on the last segment, and you were talking about how you rose to the cause. What inspired you? I think you already shared a little bit about what inspired you to make your dreams and goals a reality, but what would you say to those out there that are going through some of the same things that you experienced in your life?
The first thing I would say to anyone out there that's been through anything that they felt like they just couldn't get past or hurted them to the extent where it blocked them from moving forward is love yourself. You have to love yourself first. The second thing is forgiveness. Whether you hear it, forgiveness.
Yes.
Because that's what's going to open you up, to open yourself up to progress and be who all you ordained to be, and bless others that need you. And that's one of me. That's how I see it.
Amen.
Yeah, you're so giving with this book, and you wanted to share it so much with other people, and I thought that was so generous, because a lot of times people write books and all they're thinking about is dollar signs. All they're thinking about is how much money I'll be able to make off of my book and that sort of thing. So I applaud you for that. Just amazing.
Yes. To me, a lot of people couldn't understand it. When I first wrote the book, I really just wanted to hand them out, like just give it. And that's because the breakthrough that I got through this book, it was free. I'm free.
The breakthrough that she got through with this book was free.
Free.
But it did cost you something, though, along the way. You did, for those of you were just joining us for the second part of our show, she had been molested. She dropped out of school. She was a teen mother, but she worked. Her mother died when she was young. But she worked and she pulled herself up. And this is what you see before you today, a beautiful, beautiful woman. Did not depend upon assistance, And that's one of the things that a lot of people can't say that, especially being a teen mother at 15. That's just amazing.
I had a plan, but I didn't know myself when in the progress of going through it. But now I look back and I'm like, okay, I understand it. A lot of times we don't, as people, when we go through stuff, we don't know why, we ask why, we don't understand it, but it's the process to get to where you're going. It's the process for you to build yourself where you need to be stronger at in all, different areas of your life. You have to go through to get through.
All right. You have to go through to get through. And you're stronger because of it. You own your own home before you even graduated from high school. Without a high school diploma.
Yes.
Really, seriously, how did you do? I know the process of home buying, but how did you do that?
One of my best friends had closed on her house. We became friends at Walmart.
Okay.
And she would always tell me about the USDA. Like, what's a USDA? Which it is a program for single homes. Also, you can be married too, I believe. And I applied 3 times and got denied because of my income. So when I had my last daughter, Azalea, my friend said, she kept pushing me, said, go back. try it again. And they really was going to deny me. But it was one lady that worked on my case, and she said, you make the money. So this is what I need you to do. And I did what she told me to do to be able to cover the cost so I can get approved. And that's what I did. And it was surprising because a lot of times when I got denied, it was somebody like us.
That denied you.
That denied me.
Oh my God.
I just wanted to ask the question.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Well,
That's
and I hate to, because speaking from a realtor perspective, it may not have been that they wanted to deny you, but a lot of things go, play a part in making a decision to lend money, like your debt to income ratio and all of that stuff. So maybe it just wasn't the color of the skin, but just, some other
Could
issues
have been.
that,
Could have been.
yeah.
Could have been. But with us, we look at it. Well, if I don't get it, tell me how I can.
Right.
Just don't
Educate
say,
me.
Right,
educate
exactly.
me.
Educate
Just don't say no, I can't have it.
Right.
because
You're
we've been-
trying.
Exactly, because we've been denied.
Yeah,
Right.
so
and that's
much.
just a part of the culture. We've been denied so
So
much according to the
much,
system.
right.
So I understand why she felt,
Yeah.
and I understand from your
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
understand
Yeah.
why she felt the way she
I
did.
definitely understand as well.
But my question is now, since you have a house, are you educating others?
When people ask me, I did when I first posted it.
Okay.
And I shared it.
Okay.
I shared it. I
Beautiful,
shared it.
beautiful.
I don't mind helping the next person because that's what I want to do, to keep reaching back. Pulling the
Pull
next
somebody
person
up. And that's one thing that that's a secret to prosperity, is that when you help someone else, that helps you. But you have to be willing to help someone else and let it not always just be about me,
you.
me, me,
Exactly.
me. You got to go, pull somebody else. No, it's no judgment zone.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how you look, but just help somebody along the way.
Right.
So I am just so proud of you. I don't know what to do, because first of all, you're a woman and you're a black woman. You're a young black woman, and you went through all of this, but then you rose to the cause.
Yes.
You rose above it. Now you're the author of a book
That is on Amazon.
on
It's
Amazon.
on Amazon for
Yes.
those that want to
and
purchase
she's going
it.
on a world tour. Well, not a world tour, but maybe you are. Maybe.
Speak it. Go ahead.
But she is going on a book tour. So amazing. If you want to know how to get in touch with her, please go to our website, and all that information will be at the end of this show. You want to get her on your talk shows. You want to get her at your at the book openings and whatever it is that you can do to help her. We want to pull her up. We want to blow her up. Because she does not want to stuff her pockets. She wants to actually help somebody else.
Exactly.
And see, that's the thing. That's the thing. And while you're helping someone else, God is going to help you.
What I actually see, as far as when I started looking at this book, I see this book in schools. I see this book in a lot of the schools, and it's teaching young children. It's like, even though it's a children's book, but because of the simplicity of it,
Yes.
the way you have it laid out, it talks about the process. And so I see young ladies or young men or boys that have gone through, and you don't know how to talk to them about it. This is what happens. It opens them up,
Right.
and then they are able to share their story.
That's amazing.
Because it's a lot of children. With the pandemic, I can understand why they want to get the schools open, but it's a lot of children that's going through, and we have to be there for them.
That's right. That's
And
right.
so
And
you are that
this is a
poster
way.
child.
Yeah, she's that poster child. She really is. All kinds of adversities, but you rose above it, and look what came out
Yes.
of there. Out of the ashes. Look
Yes.
what rose up.
Plenty
diamond.
tears, plenty days. I just was like, you have words that latch, and that's another thing that I had to learn, because in the process, I've had words that attached to me, but I didn't let them latch to me.
Ooh,
Ooh, I like that.
they were attached,
I felt
but they
that.
didn't last.
Lacked.
That's powerful.
That is
That's
powerful.
a T-shirt.
Yes, yes.
That's your
they
T-shirt.
attached to me, but they didn't latch to me.
Yes, I
Yes.
actually have recently wrote a poem that got submitted this week to South Carolina State University for Black History, and it is called "I Am."
Beautiful, beautiful.
That's
Your
amazing.
story keeps getting
Yes,
richer and richer
yes,
and richer.
yes,
She's
yes.
just
Greater,
evolving right in
greater,
front of us.
Greater is coming.
Greater.
Greater is
Yes.
coming to
And
you.
even after this book, once I finish school and graduate, one of the things a lot of people, they be laughing, I'm not going to work behind a desk. I'm not going to work in an office where there's walls. I want to be a psychologist where if you're on top of that bridge, 911 saying, Miss Parker, we need you. I'm coming. I want to be where if you want going down the road and you get out work and you need somebody to talk to, I would talk to you to sun up to sundown. I want to be a psychologist that don't have a 9 to 5. Why? Because it's not just a job for me. This is my calling.
That's a calling.
That's a calling.
That's a calling.
God saved my life, and I owe it to Him. And I feel like my life was a plan. It's a plan that I didn't understand, but He had already had written, and now He needs me to.
Jeremiah 1 and 5. Before the womb.
And now He needs
Yes,
me
Lord.
to show them that I'm real. I'm
You're real. This
This
is a
is
young
the
lady that did not sit down and wait for the system to help her or anybody else to help her. Think about it. She has a child has autism, and she's in her 3rd year getting her degree in psychology. This is just an amazing, amazing girl. So many other people would just give up, but she didn't. She's still here,
Delayed
and
but
she's
not
still
denied.
delayed but not
right,
denied.
all right.
And there's somebody out there that can help you even more, and we want them to reach out to you as well. You have been watching View from the Pew. This is Inetta, Betty, and Kamisha, and our special guest Brianna. May God always keep you in His protection, and we'll see you next time on View from the Pew.